longevity. You know, we want to live as long as we can, but we want to live as well as we can. What's the point of living to 100 if you find yourself having to be taken care of 24/7? No, the goal is to live as long as we can doing what we love. And this is just one of those stories.
Who are you, Dennis Crosby?
I'm Pop Carter.
What do you say you are?
Pop Carter.
You're a Pop Carter, I know, but what is... I don't care what you are. What is your name?
My name is Pop Carter.
Oh, you're going to stick to that, huh? Well, you're a fine-looking lad, Sonny.
Thank you.
The gentleman that you just saw in that clip was Otto Pop Carter, a true Renaissance man. He had done it all. He had seen it all. He had been all over the world talking about his passion for roller skating. I know, roller skating. This picture that you see here before you was in an article from Newsweek that was run back in the late 1940s. And from that, his story would grip the nation. Not just because of roller skating, because of the age that he was a championship roller skater at.
I'd say you were around 28, huh? Am I close?
No.
Are you 60?
No.
70?
No.
You're not 80, are you?
You gotta go further than that.
I would if you weren't here.
You would.
How about 90?
You gotta go again.
Don't tell me you're 100 years old.
You gotta go again.
Well, I'll take one more guess. 650.
No, in fact, Otto Pop Carter was 102 years old at the time of that taping on Groucho Marx. And didn't he look great for his age? It's unbelievable when you hear people say, they just don't make them like they used to. Well, Pop Carter is your case in point.
I'm 102.
102. Now, Pop, do you have any secret for such a long and healthy life?
I eat anything I want, from a lobster down to a piece of watermelon.
Do you smoke, Pop?
I've smoked ever since I was 2 years old.
Do you drink?
You set it in front of me and find out.
You know, after hearing your health secrets, the American Medical Association is going to demand equal time.
Pop Carter had truly taken the nation's attention. His no-nonsense, gruff way of saying he lived how he wanted to live, did what he wanted to do, and pursued the things that he had passion about. He was sharp as a tack and could even hold his own with Groucho Marx. That airing, taking place in 1958, because he says he's 102, and he was born in an unbelievable 1856. Just unreal, prior to the Civil War even.
Now, Mr. Carter, I forgot to ask you, where were you born and when?
I was born in 1856, Sandstone, Texas, behind the stage. My mother and father were toe dancers in the vaudeville.
Oh, and did you go into vaudeville too?
No, I learned how to skate.
You what? You were a skater?
Yes, sir.
In a circus?
No, in the vaudeville.
Well, do you think exercise all your life has contributed to your 102 years?
That's right.
What kind of exercise do you take now?
I bowl.
You
I
bowl?
play tennis and skate.
Well, now, are you married, Pop?
I ain't now.
You're not. Well, are you looking for a girl?
Why shouldn't we?
How long were you married, Pop?
I was married 72 years.
You're a real Iron Man. Do you have any children?
I had 7 girls and 9 boys.
16 children, huh?
16, I had 16, I had 6 sets of twins.
Well,
My
you must
wife
have...
said I was a man.
A man indeed. And at this advanced age, he was actually a ticket taker at his local rink in California, the building of which actually still stands to this day. And he was wanted at exhibitions all across the country, from his native-born Texas to California and all places in between. As Pop said on the Groucho Marx interview, and as he gave in many interviews across the country, he talked about the fact that his vaudeville parents, the toe dancers, had lived to be over 100. His grandparents, likewise, one lived to 111, another 114. Truly great genetics Pop was blessed with. 5 years removed from his appearance on the Groucho Marx show, he was still going strong, turning 107, still in full control of his faculties, still skating, still appearing at championships across the country, and still telling the story that he was so proud of. Continuing to fill in some of the backstory that maybe we hadn't got in earlier tellings of his family history, including the fact that he mostly grew up in Upland, Grant County, Indiana, to his Texas-born mother and father. But not out on the speaking or skating circuit, he loved being back at home in the Los Angeles area of California that had been his home for many years. And one thing also that we haven't touched on is his war record. Exactly, in addition to such a colorful life, he also served his country in World War I in the hospital corps. So what more can I tell you about this amazing man that I haven't covered or we haven't seen discussed on the TV show? What more can we say about Otto Pop Carter? Well, we can tell the truth. Otto was indeed born in Upland, Grant County, Indiana in August of 1887, not 1856. His parents, Solomon and Sarah, had two sons, Otto and his brother Fred. By 1893, his mother would marry a different man, Millard Fillmore Carter. Otto would take his name, but his brother Fred would keep the last name Marine. By 1906, the four members of the Carter family would move to San Francisco. 1906 being a very volatile time in San Francisco history because, of course, of the Great Earthquake. By 1909, Otto would indeed join the Army in the hospital corps, more than likely as a barber, and he was with them, according to him, for a few months. Little is known about Otto's early adult life. We do know from census records that he spent many of these years with his parents. He was possibly briefly married, but there is no indication that he ever had children, much less 69 grandchildren, great-grandchildren, so on and so forth. We know from his draft registration card that in 1917 he was drafted into World War I in the hospital corps, again listing his profession as barber. He is listed as single, with being responsible for no one. We also know that from 1923 to 1926, and Otto Carter was serving a life sentence in San Quentin Penitentiary, and it bears a striking resemblance to Otto. So when we saw Pop Carter on the Groucho Marx show in 1958, he wasn't 102, but he was a respectable 71. What are we to gain from this? What are we to feel from this story? Well, it should give us pause about some of these outlandish tales that we hear from bygone eras. It was a whole lot easier to spin a yarn when the ability to fact check isn't what it is today. Yet even in this day and age when we consider ourselves misinformation killers, the majority of what you'll see on the internet about Pop Carter is the story that he recounts on the Groucho Marx show, and not the truth that I'm attempting to tell you today. On April the 7th of 1966, Otto would pass away at the age of 78, and not 109, as he would have you believe. He passed away in Los Angeles County, a World War I veteran. He is buried in Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery in San Diego. Otto didn't like the life he had lived, so he created a new one for himself. A new story, a new family, and he skated out the way he wanted to. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great one.